from there. All right. So the one question I always ask everybody, and I would like both of you guys to respond. When you hear the word someday, what comes to your mind?
Someday for me is something in the future, something that someone can look forward to.
Okay. Mike, what comes to your mind? Or when people, either if you hear the word or people use it in a sentence and stuff, they were like, oh, someday, da 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 da. What comes to your mind, or what you believe they're focusing on?
It means there's no set date or time in stone when you say someday.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go day by day until you figure it out, and until you figure out what your someday may be. And you actually put a time stamp on it to set that goal to complete on that certain time.
Okay. And you guys spoke of something similar that many other people have said as well. They talked about goals, not necessarily having a set time, being able to move forward and things like that. And I think that is somewhat of the reason that I designed or labeled the book as being someday, because each individual character had their view and concept of what they believe will be their someday, or how something was going to happen in their lives. So it seemed to fall down a very similar path for a lot of the peoples that was there. So let's talk about something that happened in the beginning of the book. So Robert is one of the main characters. What you said, Mike? You were muted, and then you came back in.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Okay. So Robert was one of the main characters that we have, and Victor is one of the other main characters that we have as well. So they're best buds. They happen to work together as well. And so one day while they were at the gym, they were having a conversation about women as a whole. And so one of the things that Victor wanted to talk about was Robert's thoughts on having something new. He said he was looking for something new. He was tired of the same interaction that he was getting from the women that he was dating. What do you think, both of you guys as a whole, do you believe is the biggest concern for people when they're entering into relationships?
This day and time,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's different dating this day and time and get into a relationship than when we started 26 years ago, because now it's so much technology. So when people enter into a relationship nowadays, they want to make sure that they really know the person, because when you start dating and you're doing it through a computer or you texting and stuff, you really don't get to know that person, because you're taking the text message or something the way that you're feeling at that moment, not knowing that the opposite person is really feeling that way. Okay. I have to excuse our baby. He's back there having him a good time.
Mike, do you believe that technology has made it more difficult for people to really enter into relationships, or has it made it more available for some people who may be hermits and homebody and prefer, to be in a comfortable space, if you will, to engage with people?
Both.
Okay. How so?
I mean, so as far as the availability aspect of it, it's easier for people to get online, talk to somebody, I guess, or either through text message, than being able to meet somebody face to face. Some people probably rather choose the online aspect versus face to face. And then I guess after a while, as you feel comfortable after talking to this person for however long you talk to them on the internet, then you probably feel more comfortable trying to meet them face to face. And what was the second part of the question?
Meet them face to face, and we were talking about like the hermits. So I think you sort of merged both of them together. Talk about those being able to do both aspects of it. Okay. So, but do you think people still have similar things that they're looking for? Like someone's looking for someone to connect with, someone that they can talk with, engage. Do you think those things have changed from, I guess, like you said, 20 some years ago, were people still looking for similar aspects, or now are the expectations or views a little different than what they were before?
I still stick to my answer with saying that I think it's totally different now.
Yeah.
Back then when we was dating, it was you build with the person, but you still fall in love with the person.
Mhm.
And you don't, you don't call it quick so easy the way that you see a lot of stuff being portrayed now with social media. Like now when you talk to some of the people that's enter into a relationship, they're like, let's get together and build, love will come later.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But in our day it was like you kind of fall in love first, then you start talking about building. And I think it makes a total difference with why the divorce rate is the way that it is now versus when it was back then.
Yeah. You want to add anything,
That's
Mike?
my opinion.
Nah.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things too, I'm gonna switch